and I'm like, this movie is one of the best things I've ever laid my eyes on. Second to Matthew McFadden's face. 2026 will be my year. Let's talk books. So this is my 2026 TBR. To be read, must be read, will be read. Let's do 2026 WB read. WBR will be read, because this will happen. There's no other choice than to read these books because they need to get off my TBR, because they've been out. If I don't read them this year, then I'm a flop and I should not even consider myself a reader. Let's get started. We're gonna start it off with a banger, and the banger is The Great Gatsby. This book has been on my TBR for, I think, my whole life. Like, since I was out of the womb. I think I tried reading The Great Gatsby like 4 years ago, and I just didn't. I was like, what is this? Like, this is boring. It is literally a short ass book and I couldn't get through it. I watched the movie and I loved the movie. The vibes are actually insane, out of this world, and this is just such a classic that I feel like I just need to just get it out of the way. And I don't want to say get out of the way because it sounds like homework. It sounds like it's something that I'm dreading, which I'm not. I think maybe at that point in my life 3 years ago, I was just not there yet. I was like a freshman in high school, so maybe my brain just wasn't developed. Let's go with that. And so now that I have a developed brain, I can go into it with a more mature mindset. And I've also read more classics. My vibe back then was more of the fantasy, romance, and just like very easy literature books. But now that I've refined my book taste, I think The Great Gatsby will hit even more. I saw this one TikTok where it's like,
sometimes when you pick up a book and you don't read it, it's because it just was not meant for that time of your life. It was meant to be waited for, so you can read it at a time of your life where it will leave a bigger impact on you.
So I think that's what The Great Gatsby is for me. A read that I need to read this year. Not last year, not the years before that, this freaking year. 2026 will be my year. Next up, I got Beloved by Toni Morrison. When you hear Toni Morrison coming out of a book talker, a booktuber's mouth, you know that they know ball, is the vibes that Toni Morrison gives me. I tried reading this book, but again, I think the prose was just too next level for me, and so I got a little intimidated, not gonna lie. I was like, oh, I don't know if this is the right time, but this is gonna be my year. No, but every time I see a Toni Morrison book, I'm just like, I want to be that reader. And look how beautiful it is. Look how freaking beautiful it is. I've heard Sula by her. I think The Bluest Eye. I want to start my Toni Morrison collection. My main goal for 2026 is to get rid of my physical TBR, because I buy and I buy. It's not that bad. It's not that bad, because I do make use of my Libby account when I really want to read a book. I will read it on Libby if I don't own it, and I'm really good at that. Like, I'm not gonna put myself down, okay? I'm not that bad of a book spender. A lot of the books I have read. Over half of them I think I've read, the ones that I own. And if I haven't read them, most of the time it's because I will read it and I fully believe that, or because it's one of my sister's books and she owns a lot of romance books and books that we kind of are over. And I never really had a big romance phase. Most of my phase was just fantasy or fiction, and I still love fantasy and fiction. I just never had a really big romance phase, but we have a lot of romance books and I do want to read them. I want to read every single book I own. I don't care what it is, even if it's Archer's Voice, even if it's fucking Colleen Hoover book, which we only have one and I've read it, and that's how I know I don't like her. But yeah, anyways, the point is I want to read all the books I own. Anyways, I know I'm gonna really like it, and I know she's an incredible writer because I hear nothing but good things about Toni Morrison. So I'm excited to read this book in the year 2025. When? I don't know, but it will be done. On the topic of reading books that I've been meaning to read and I hear nothing but great things, All the Light We Cannot See. I feel like this is such a staple. It's just one of those things where it's like I have a list in the back of my head of every book I eventually want to get to, but I don't see myself reading anytime in the next 1 or 2 weeks, and this is one of them. I never see myself actually finishing it. I just always envision myself looking through my shelves being like, oh, I eventually want to read that, but never really reading it. But we gotta lock in. We're not playing around, we're not goofing around, we're not doing that. What we are doing is reading On the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it. And we're also reading Cloud Cuckoo Land, because I honestly didn't know it was the same author as this, but now that I know that he knows ball, and I know that we gotta do it. Also, the reason why I got this book is because there's a song by Radiohead, my favorite artist. It's like Cloud Cuckoo Land, Cloud Cuckoo Land. Where's my phone? Because now I have to know. My sister texted me, she said, bro, I'm at the park and some little kid just ate shit because she fell on the rocks while riding her bike. Ugh, I needed a good laugh. Loud. Like Spinning Plates is the song. Anyways, that's why it was on my radar. I'm sorry to say. I don't really know what it's about, but I know it's gonna hit, so of course I want to read it. Oh my god, I feel like this is the world's boringest TBR ever. So if your vibe is not like lit fic, then I'm so sorry. I don't think I'm your gal. I like to say I'm diverse, but I feel like everyone says that and it's literally giving bland, boring, and basic. So maybe that's me. Pride and Prejudice. Before I even watched Pride and Prejudice, which is one of my favorite movies on the planet Earth because Matthew McFadden is my husband, I tried reading Pride and Prejudice about 3-4 years ago and I couldn't. The prose was just doing it way too damn much. I'm like, girl, why are you doing all that? I was literally conscious of every single time I turned that page because I was just thinking, when is this chapter gonna end? When am I gonna finish reading this book? And I was literally on page 2. With that being said, I couldn't. It felt like torture. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put this book down. And I'm not gonna pick it up anytime soon. Honestly, I didn't even think I was gonna ever read Pride and Prejudice because of how excruciating it felt until I watched the movie. And I'm like, this movie is one of the best things I've ever laid my eyes on. Second to Matthew McFadden's face. So I'm like, now that I know kind of the vibe, what's going on, what the movie is about, it would probably be easier to digest the book because I already know what it's about. I already know what's gonna happen. But we all know, and I learned this year, that books are better than movies. So if the movie was that good, then I have to read the book. I have to. It's like I would be doing myself a disservice not to read the book. Granted, Matthew McFadden won't be in this book, like his actual like self, which I don't know how much takes part into my rating of the movie. Face. Maybe the movie isn't even that good and I'm just like so infatuated with Matthew McFadden that I'm just like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. Like, this has me on the edge of my seat. My eyes are hooked. I don't know, but I will know because I will be reading this. To further on the sentiment of world's boringest TBR, The Count of Monte Cristo. As you can see, I started it a while ago. I got to page 82. Props. I really did like this book. I really did. I did enjoy reading it. I just think I got into my head too much when I read 82 pages and then I looked and I still had that much to go. And I was like, oh. Okay. So it really put the length into perspective when I felt like I read so much and I was not even like 10% of the way done with the book. So I just stopped reading it, and what I need to do is keep reading it. I'm very excited to finish this. I think it would be a feat. I think it would be something I would be proud of myself to read. Since I already started it, obviously, and I already know how he writes and how he tells the story, I know I'm gonna like it because I liked it. I just need to finish it. Dostoevsky. I know I'm saying that wrong. I can't pronounce. Like, Guadalajara. Fuck. Guadalajara. I'm Mexican and I cannot pronounce Guadalajara. That's the best I can do. That's how I feel when someone tells me where my family is from and I have to say Guadalajara. That's exactly how I feel when I'm trying to talk about Dostoevsky, because I know I'm saying it wrong and I sound like a dummy, but I just can't say it. Anyways, Dostoevsky, the only book I've read by him is White Nights, and I like the way he wrote, but my problem with him was a problem that I have similarly to every classic literature writer, where it's like, okay, you write good, but the story and its substance and the lessons that I'm supposed to gain from it is just not hitting. It just feels like they're going on a tangent for it to be like, oh, that's the reason, and then you're like, so you said all that to say that? It's like, oh my god, wow, this is really good, and then it goes to the end and you're like, so I read all that, so you wasted my time basically. So I understand when people are like, oh, the greatest writers of all time, because they are great writers. It's just the story that feels lackluster to me. I also read Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy, and I literally got, I think, like 60% of the way done with that, and I just had to drop it because it felt like they were just going on and on and on. It just felt like it was going in circles, like they were just saying everything and nothing at all, and I felt kind of crazy reading that, because I'm like, there's no way that people think this is the greatest thing of all time, because it's like, who gaff? I don't know actually. Do I like classic lit like that? But you know what, maybe it's the men. Maybe the men are the problem, because recently I've read Wuthering Heights by Emily. Wait, yeah, right? Yeah. Recently I read Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, and I loved it. She was a great storyteller. The story itself, it was a great book. I loved it more than I thought I would. So maybe it's the men. I'm kidding. I act like I've read so much lit fic to be having opinions. Anyways, let's go back to this. Right, I just want to read more Dostoevsky, because that one, although I liked his writing, the story itself I couldn't get behind, and it felt very low impact to me. Crime and Punishment, obviously you hear it everywhere, and I'm just like, okay, maybe let's give him another try. Excuse me. Let me add another book to my TBR, because the whole reason why I started this is because of this one book. Oh yeah, oh yeah. The Brothers Karamazov. This is literally my #1. If I could choose one book off this TBR that I want to read, it's this one. It's very hefty. It is similar to this one. I actually don't know which one's longer. Let's see, how many pages is this? This one is 891 pages. This one, oh, this one is just 500 pages. Why does it look so big? Wow, I've heard nothing but amazing things about this book. It needs to be read immediately. I think it's about brothers. Oh, it's his last novel. Oh wow. I think it's literally just about brothers and their lives and someone dying in the family. But I already know, like, even like the most, I think my favorite books are the ones that are like kind of bland, but they're so introspective and they talk so much about the human experience, but like they just like pick apart so much, you just feel heard and seen, and you're like, wow, like I'm not alone, because you just said that and I never thought that I could put my feelings into words like that, and you're literally the best thing that's ever graced this planet. And those are the kind of books that I'm like, okay, you get a 5-star, you get a 5-star, you get a 5-star. I feel like this is gonna be a book like that I just feel so seen and heard, and I'm like, wow, That's why. That's why you're the greatest writer of all time. That's why you're talked about so much. And that's why I need to read this book. Because my hopes, my expectations are great. Great expectation. Charles Dickens? Yeah, I know my shit. I was just talking about Emily Bronte. So now let's talk about Charlotte Bronte, because are you kidding me? Look at these covers. That is actually beautiful. Wait, LOL, let's do the thumbnail. Wait, let me take out my glasses. Let me mog real quick. I'm kidding, I actually look like shit. These are the most beautiful covers I've ever seen. Mind you, we have both of these books already, but I saw these and I'm like, I need them. I need them. And they were actually not even that expensive. $18? Are you serious? This is art. That really gave me the push to read Wuthering Heights. Also, it's coming out in February. I can go on a whole tangent about this book and I won't, because that's not the point. But I'm like, okay, so I have to get this one too, because it is so freaking pretty. And I'm glad I did, because then I learned just how digestible classic literature can be. Honestly, I have no idea / clue what this one is about, but if it has any similarity to the vibes this is bringing, I know I'm gonna love this one. I also have heard great things about this book, so I'm so excited. Next up, James Baldwin. I talked about it in my other video a little bit, but if you haven't seen that, let me rehash. My sister's currently reading, oh look at it, it's right here. My sister's currently reading Giovanni's Room. And before she started reading it, I was thinking so much about this book, because I remember loving it so much and having that feeling that's like, I need this embedded into my soul and I need to be one with this book. And like, I need to start reading more Baldwin. So I took my ass to TikTok and I'm like, James Baldwin, best books by James Baldwin. What are James Baldwin's best books? Another Country was one I saw a lot, and this one I feel like it's a more fully fleshed out book because it's bigger. This one was very short and it left such a big impact on me, and I can only imagine how great this one's gonna be. I'm excited to explore more of the authors that I've enjoyed in the past and just read all their works, because I feel like it'd be so cool to be like, oh yeah, I've read all their works. I don't remember who, but there's one author who I've read most of their books, and I think that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool to be like, oh yeah, Dostoevsky, like he's on my roster. Like I own every single one of his books and I've read them all, so I can, you know, recommend. Like if someone's like, oh, like I really want to get into blah blah blah, I could be like, oh yeah, you know, their best book is blah blah blah, and actually know my stuff. Let's do a little speed round, shall we? The Book Thief. It's The Book Thief. Like, who doesn't want to read The Book Thief? Because I don't think I've heard one negative thing about The Book Thief. Another one, And the Mountains Echoed. This one I thrifted because, excuse me, Khalid Hosseini. I've read, not The Kite Runner. That one's also on my, because we also own that one, The Kite Runner. That's also on my TBR. I just can't find it. It's the other one. A Thousand Splendid Suns. A Thousand Splendid Suns was one of my best reads last year. It was actually the most devastating and emotionally charged book I think I've ever read. I devoured that book. I remember I was babysitting and I was like locked the freak in. I was babysitting my siblings, okay? I wasn't babysitting someone else and being locked in a book and not even paying attention. It was my siblings, okay? Don't cancel me. So I just think I need to read all his works because I know that it'll be the best thing that's ever happened to me. Tomorrow. This is, I feel like this one had a really big year. I don't know if it was last year or the year before that, but I just heard people talking about it and I'm like, yeah, I need to get into that because I like following trends, period. And then The Hunger Games. I know you're like, what do you mean you haven't read The Hunger Games? Guys, I haven't even finished watching The Hunger Games. What's wrong with me? Apparently everything. The Hunger Games. Yeah, we need to start reading. We thrifted this one because I feel like The Hunger Games, every time you go thrifting, the Hunger Games is always there. So what's the point in spending all this money if you can get it for like $3? I low-key want to finish reading it before the new movie comes out, because I already watched the Songbird one with Rachel Zegler. That was such a good one. I haven't read any of them, but I've watched the first one, the second one, and then the Ballad of the Songbirds and the Snakes, and it's just literally classic stuff, like literally more classic than like freaking Pride and Prejudice. Like, it's also Twilight. Like, I haven't finished Twilight. I watched the first one recently, very recently, like I'm talking like 2 months ago. So yeah. Oh wow, it looks like we've reached the end, guys. We're finishing it off with The Will of the Many. This one's literally one of the only like not classic lit books I have. I have so many more books I want to read on my TBR. I just thought I'd pick like a bunch of books that I've just been meaning to read and that I feel most gravitated towards. Literally everything that I own is basically going to be on my mental yearly TBR. I think it's everyone's goal to read the books that they own and stop buying books until they finish reading the books they own. So obviously that's my goal too, but these are the books that I actually like need to read, like want to desperately finish. The Will of the Many, I talked about this a bit, but Sarah Caroli is the one who convinced me to get this because she loved The Will of the Many, and I know the second book just came out and I didn't buy it because it's a hardcover and I want to start, you know, getting the same kind of book. You know, I don't want a hardcover and then a paperback and then a freaking tiny book and then a big one and then a, you know, I want them all to be consistent because it just looks the best. Even though I'm not that fussed about that stuff, because like a lot of the series I own, it's like paperback, hardback. Even though it's not preferable, I'm not so picky about it, but if I'm going to spend my money, might as well spend it on something I want. Yeah, I know there's like a high fantasy, and I want to start reading fantasies that are not, you know, romance adjacent, like a romantasy, because I read plenty of those. Although I love them, you know, I want to start getting into other things, sci-fi, and then like just fantasy, plain fantasy. I've read a couple. Babel. Ooh, that's another one. So another one on my TBR is Catabasis by R.F. Kuang. Babel I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed the first book of Poppy War, and don't get me started on the other two because I don't got great things to say about them, so we won't say. But I know she's a talented writer, and I've heard varied opinions on Catabasis, but personally it sounds like my cup of tea book, so I still want to read it, but I might read it on Libby, so I won't waste my money if I don't like it. Now that I'm thinking about it, I just have too many books I want to read, but I also will end it here with The Sword of Kagan. I know that's a standalone fantasy, which is very hard to come by. It's on Kindle Unlimited for free, I'm pretty sure I saw, but I canceled my membership. But I think it's on Libby now. So, because I remember I wanted to read so bad, and I searched it up on Libby, and it wasn't even on there. And Libby has everything. But I think it's originally like in another language. That's why it wasn't really on there. I think they should have it now. It got like really popular and talked about. So The Sword of Kagan is one I really want to read. That is my 2026 TBR or WBR, will be read. And let me know if you guys have any similar. Oh my gosh, literally no one is watching this. So yeah, never mind, because that's embarrassing. But if you are watching this, hashtag my sister, do you want to read any of these books too? I think me and my sister actually will buddy read Jane Eyre because we have 2 copies and we wanted to start like a book club type dealio where it's just literally 2 people. But it's okay, like who cares? Who cares, you know? I make my own rules type shit. Ew. I hope this year of reading does me good. I hope I do me good, because last year was actually not that bad. Last year was decent. I read 44 books, my goal this year. I said 60, but I lowered it to 50 because I'd be happy with that. Anyways, my camera's about to die, so thank you guys for watching if you're watching, and yeah, I'm so excited for this year of reading. Bye.